Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to my talk about Moodle and public speaking. You see this humongous title at the top of the slide. The talk is called Moodle Course Demonstration, and the course is called Public Speaking for Teachers at Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, University of Zagreb. I am Diana Tomic. I'm Assistant Professor at the Department of Phonetics at Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, and this talk is part of a project, RHEFINE. You see the RHEFINE logo below my name and the link to the website that is organized, that is implemented, that is created by 3 countries. You see a lot of logos at the bottom of the slide. So our partners from Poland, University of Warsaw, and Center for Applied Rhetoric are project coordinators. We have valuable input from Institute of Rhetoric and Communication from Sofia, Bulgaria, and of course the 2 logos in the right bottom corner are Croatian logos from the Faculty of Humanities and University of Zagreb. If you are listening to this talk, that means that you are definitely into both rhetoric and online teaching. And perhaps you had some experience with Moodle, so we will see do we share the same opinions. What I'm going to do during this talk is I'm going to show you how I organize my course. I will talk about some advantages and disadvantages, things that I want to share, things that I want to improve, things that I want to develop. Basically, I want to open a discussion. Maybe it will be an asynchronous discussion that we will continue later on somewhere in the virtual space about applied teaching methods, especially for public speaking and rhetoric. So tell me, what do you think about Moodle? Moodle, as you can see from its logo with this cap, it is a very widespread tool in the academic community. This is a platform that has been implemented at our faculty, we call it Omega, more than a decade ago through a project. And now it has, I think that the last number that I have seen is that we have more than 9,000 courses. And we are not a university, we are only Faculty of Humanities. Another Moodle platform is applied at the University of Zagreb, but this is another story. I will stay focused on Omega. Moodle was very inspiring, very encouraging for us to start online teaching back in 2009. That was the year that I created my first online course. Was it good? Did I learn something? How did I learn things? It is something that I would like to share and discuss with you. So, welcome to my rhetorical playground. Let me just click the right tab to take you to the course. The course is, of course, in Croatian. See, govorništvo za nastavnike. It's called Public Speaking for Teachers. And this is what Moodle looks like from a student perspective. A huge advantage of Moodle courses is structure. So basically you have a lot of things. You have like a very organized website. The structure is an advantage, but the disadvantage is that a lot of clicking needs to be done by teacher in order to achieve some kind of order. You can create your own order, you can create your own structure, but basically it's a lot of work for I don't know how much effect. So you see here on the left side, you have basically a course syllabus. So even if you don't understand Croatian, first week, prvi tjedan, and you see from the dates, this is the summer term course, and you see the plan. On the right side, there is a block for announcements. Everyone who uses Moodle knows this, and other blocks that the teacher can organize by his or her own choice, and I have a dictionary. This was a project assignment some 5 or 6 years ago for students who translated a dictionary from various sources on public speaking, and they implemented it in Moodle. There is a block on recent activity, a calendar, and some future events, which since this is winter term, there is no, the course is not going on right now, so there are no future events. The first two blocks in all my courses, in all my Moodle courses, include general info, like a message board, oglasna ploča, ID card about the course, which tells students, or they have it in one place, when are my office hours, how many ECT credits are assigned to this course, and things like that. The page with the little earth icon means that this is linked to some kind of outer source, some kind of website, or link to a document or something like that. And this is what this is where I linked my syllabus. The experience, my 10 years of using Moodle, made me think that the other options for this kind of content are not useful. So I'm using links to my drives, to my clouds, more and more, because this is a much faster way to change information, to keep things updated. The second topic is course organization, the title Organizacija kolegija in Croatian. So you have this syllabus, elements of their mark, how many points do they collect on different activities, some references for their seminars. They are delivering 3 seminars during 3 talks during this course, some papers, books, and things like that, and other useful links. Before we go on with the organization, I have to explain. So this is a course that is usually delivered on site, not online. It has 1 seminar, 1 hour seminar, and 1 hour exercises weekly. Usually I have around 30 students. And what are the main activities? They are delivering an informative speech for 10 minutes. They are improvising. They are delivering a speech on public occasion. So they have 3 public speaking experiences. And they are participating in a meeting, organizing a meeting, and delivering a meeting. And they are doing some exercises on debate. And also they are delivering and analyzing their debate. The topics were selected from, if you are into public speaking, from various options, and they are tailored to suit the needs of future teachers. So let's get back to Moodle. What I love about Moodle is that I can easily share content. I cannot easily create content, but definitely I can easily share content. So here, what I have is, for an example, recordings of 10-minute speeches. These are the informative speeches, and the students can watch them at home and learn by observing. So it's useful for their progress as speakers. Also, I have this form. It's a Google form. I have it in paper for in-class activity, but also I have a Google form which is assessment criteria for a speech. My colleagues Jelena Vlašić-Dujić and Helen Marie Pletiko-Solov created this form, this evaluation form, and it has been used on this course for, I think, ever, for a decade now. So what does this mean? After delivering a talk, the audience fills in the form, which has several parts. Rhetorical features, this is section A. Speech features or speaking skills, about voice, fluency, pronunciation, and things like that. And the third section includes nonverbal signs, which is timing, other visual cues, and the handout that they are supposed to submit. Since this was a blended course, I had part of the course before the pandemic. I had part of the course in classroom and only used Moodle for material sharing. During the pandemic and at the beginning of the pandemic back in 2020, I delivered this course during the summer term. It started in March. I needed to record my lectures. So in the second year, this 2021, it was quite useful for sharing the videos, and here they have videos of my lectures. It was also useful for sharing their videos since we couldn't meet in class, and they uploaded their videos in this folder, in the shared folder, and then went back to the purple part, to the evaluation form, where they assessed their colleagues. To wrap up this part about sharing material, talks they're delivering during the course, and things like that, I want to what I think is the best for any online platform and public speaking is the recording part. The platform enables the teacher to share the videos, or the students in the which we experienced during the pandemics, easily, and watching their own recordings is like the best learning experience, the fastest way for delivering public speaking skills. And this is why, although sometimes, to be completely honest, I hate the Moodle clicking, the uploading, the saving of the documents, the organization, the rigid form. I love it because it enables my students to use all the technological achievements of the 21st century easily, to watch their recordings. If we think just, I don't know, 20 years back, to watch your own speech was a luxury. Today, it can be an everyday activity. To be honest, you are watching my course, I don't know from where, and probably you will definitely be able to watch it some years later, because it will stay somewhere on our beautiful internet. Okay, so let's go back to the course. You see the links, these are shared folders. So these are lectures, these are the students' talks, and again, students' talks in special occasions, govori u posebnim prigodama. Since I don't believe in classical exams, my courses have some kind of larger project assignment, and this was public speaking portfolio. This is a sample, and students had to fill it in and share it with others. I'm using Moodle forums, although they're not planned. They're planned only for discussion. I'm using them. This is some kind of my perk, some kind of a perk of mine. I'm using them for submitting papers. Why? It is easier for me to have an overview who has submitted, how, why, and if I use forum and not homework activity. And also, I think it's important for their colleagues, for peer learning, to see what someone thinks, how they what they created, and things like that. Now let's see what public speaking portfolio is. So it's a document that students fill in, that students work on during the term. It starts with the activity of their self-assessment. So, am I a good public speaker, and why? And then they record impromptu speech, improvised speech, and watch it, and go back to this self-assessment to see whether they are too strict or whether they do not notice what are their public speaking advantages or disadvantages. Another activity is to name a speaker. I don't know, it can be a politician or an actor or a teacher, professor, whoever, that they find to be an exceptional teacher. Another activity that I prefer, since I'm very fond of TED and TEDx, I tell them to look for an inspiring TED or TEDx talk and to get the transcript and to analyze it following the rules that we have learned during the course, and you will see what we learn in a minute. So this is week 1. It's only introductory week, and we do this recording of an impromptu speech. Then in week 2, we discuss public speaking and teaching profession, why it's important for teachers. You see the presentation, the icon of PowerPoint. This icon, the document, you have seen it before. These are the instructions for a week. It can be organized in a different way, but I think this is very clear cut. So S is for seminar and V is for vježbe or exercises. And I give them a lot of materials, a lot of recordings, criteria for assessment that I have already mentioned. We try to align our criteria by commenting the speeches together, and they get it pretty quickly. I was quite surprised this year or last year. I was quite surprised with my students' analytic ability. So we went through a couple of speeches and the evaluation form that I've talked about before, and we aligned during the assessment of the third speech almost perfectly. Nobody gave a grade C, while I graded that with A. So the alignment was brilliant, and I was proud to see how their analytic ability, the courses being delivered at master level. Sometimes they are their first year of their master studies or 4th year of their total studies. Sometimes they are 5th. Okay, the third week starts with outlining their speech. You have a presentation and some kind of illustration. And what I want to point out here is the analysis or self-analysis of their impromptu speeches. So, for those of you who know Croatian, you can read on your own, but I will comment on this and to argue how the self-analysis of their talks, of their speeches, is extremely important. So my student says that he's only partially content with the talk, and that he can always do better. He realized that he had some unlogical pauses because he wasn't sure how to continue talking, and he says that it was a pretty unpleasant experience since he didn't have, due to pandemic, he didn't have audience in front of himself. So for someone who has been into public speaking course for only 3 years, I think that this analysis is pretty amazing. So let's go on. This is something that can be used in different courses on different topics, and this is something that Moodle makes easier. So I wanted to share that with you. Let's go on. So week 4 is about rhetorical structure or speech outline. So the introduction, the main part, and the conclusion. And during exercises, we are opening the topic of public speaking anxiety. I have translated McCroskey's questionnaire for public speaking assessment. Again, it's a Google form, and they complete it so that we can discuss their scores. And they love this experience, like we are naming the pink elephant in the room. Next week is reserved for speech delivery. And what I want to do, and sometimes even before the pandemic, I didn't have time in class for this kind of activity. I want them to experience different types of delivery. So if you remember from the beginning, they are delivering 3 speeches. One of them is impromptu, improvised speech. One is informative, and one is on, and the third one is on special occasion. But they do not know, they do not experience the type of delivery of reading. And if they do not experience that one time, and if the public speaking anxiety is pretty high, what students do, they just write the speech down and read it. And this is a killer for delivery, you know. What they definitely, if they're not experienced public speaker, they shouldn't use reading as a delivery mode. So what I do with them is I guide them. I tell them to find a speech online, a transcript of a speech, and usually these examples are written. This is a written language that is not suitable for a good delivery, and basically they have the non-suitable material in front of them immediately. I ask them to read that speech, to record themselves, to listen to themselves for several times, and then to rewrite the speech. It is a rector speech or a headmaster speech, and to improve it, to make it more suitable for speaking delivery. During week 5, we talked something about this called Jež by zaglasí izgovor. So these are voice and pronunciation exercises. This is something that we also think is very important. It is a thing that phoneticians do. We promote voice quality and voice care. So it's normal to have this topic among our topics, even in public speaking course. Week 6, 7, and partly week 8 were reserved for, how would you say that, for delivery of their 10 minutes informative speeches and assessment. So this is what we do. And on some weeks, we cover topics like listening, active listening, and note-taking, and these are the 2 presentations that were uploaded here in week 8. Week 9 is also during exercises they are delivering their speeches, but we are opening the topic of nonverbal communication, various aspects of nonverbal communication, and they, if they want, it's an optional activity, they have a selection of TED Talks. You see here in these documents, they have links to TED Talks on nonverbal communication. This is my selection, but they love this kind of activity. Week 10 is in seminar we talk about the features of speaking on special occasions. They have a lot of video examples. For an example, Oscar speeches, some famous speeches from the movie, for an example, For Weddings and the Funeral, and different examples that are available on either on YouTube, or I have them from different sources. This is a preparation for them so that they learn how to prepare a speech on public occasion. And finally, we come to week 11, and this is what I want to focus on now, and the topic is debate. Debate, in my opinion, is extremely important topic for teachers. This is why it is in our course syllabus. And during pandemic, I had difficulties organizing debate because telcos, Zoom, Teams, Big Blue Button in Moodle are not a friendly debate tools. However, I realized that different assignments, different tasks for debate as a topic are extremely useful. So what do they have here? They have, again, as in the previous weeks, instructions for week 11. They have to watch my presentation and videos, and they have 4 assignments regarding debate. The first one is to look and read papers on debate, classroom debate as a systematic teaching learning approach. I uploaded that. Classroom debate format effect on student learning and revelations about student tendencies. And they have to write down key information about each of the papers. What is new, what they agree with, and what they disagree with, and things like that. The second assignment is, since this is a course for the entire faculty, so we have students who are studying Master of History or English or things like that. They are pretty heterogeneous group. The second assignment is to list the topics that they think would be useful in their future classroom. For example, if they're teaching sociology, they all have different topics than historians and things like that. They apply their previous knowledge. Sorry. They apply their previous knowledge about topic and claim and things like that. And they think about the classroom preparation of that specific debate. The third assignment was to explore Chialo, a tool for online debate, to use it, to explore it a bit and to comment on it. And also, if they are familiar with another tool, this is a learning experience for me as a teacher, they can share it with the rest of the class. The fourth assignment, this is fourth assignment, they decide on the topic of the debate in the classroom and the thesis. And finally, let's go back to week 12. They were preparing for a meeting. See, presentation sastanak, prezentacija sastanak, presentation meeting. They were divided into 3 groups. So we have 3 forum threads on meeting preparation, and they're preparing everything. They're deciding on the roles of the participants. They're sending us the call. The moderator prepares topics and the structure and the way to follow up the execution of the decisions from the meeting, etc. The meeting, the topic of the business meeting is here, since our teachers must organize meetings with parents or various types of meetings during their professional work, and the feedback that students give us are pretty positive about this topic. But to relate that to Moodle, I think that a Moodle is also a great tool for teamwork, and especially if it is like a dominant design, and it is definitely dominant design at the Faculty of Humanities, University of Zagreb, students got used to using Moodle. So for material sharing and some kind of teamwork assignment, it's pretty great. And in the end, I will change my role to my usual role. I use Moodle as my hub. I have a collection of different activities, different presentations from different generations. Students do not see this. This is called archive for teachers. And I find it pretty useful to have a quick example at hand and things like that. Don't know whether you have thought about that way of using Moodle, but it's definitely an option. Okay, so to wrap this up, Moodle is undoubtedly a popular tool or platform, regardless of its numerous disadvantages. One major disadvantage is that it is a lot of clicking. But on the other hand, Rome wasn't built in a day. So if you want to have an online course on Moodle, you have to invest a lot of time or prepare a lot of material in advance and upload it and organize it and reorganize it. And then probably you will have a high quality course. I will question that a bit later. What I'm concerned with, what I want to improve, what I want to learn or share experience with colleagues is that there are no applied teaching methods, for an example, for teachers of history or for teachers of rhetoric that includes Moodle. There are no applied teaching methods for online teaching of specific subjects in general. But on Moodle, it's even more, since Moodle is, as I mentioned at the beginning, a bit rigid. There are no examples, and the only thing that we can do, what I said, is share experience. We can apply general rules for online teaching, but these rules were created by ICT experts and experts on online learning and teaching, and not by teachers of specific subjects. So what is or was good in my course? As I mentioned during the explanation of the weekly topics, it is content availability, activity record. That's pretty cool, you know, nobody can tell you, oh, I did it, and then you see the log on Moodle and you see, oh no, you didn't do it. You didn't read that, you didn't listen to that. It's great communication channel. I didn't point out that at the beginning, but the message board, that is the top activity in every Moodle course, is great thing. It's pretty useful. And what you saw from my comments, that I'm using this activity in this way and this activity in that way. Do you have any other ideas? I think that Moodle has a lot of unexplored possibilities. But when you start using something by inertia, you continue to use it. So, and we are all doing a lot of things, and we do not have time to become Moodle experts. So to get an input from an expert, it would be pretty useful. I tried to find that input. I watched some YouTube videos and went to seminars on Moodle, but the information that I get from the experts is how to click this and how to make tests and how to deal with technology and not teach. What could or should be better is course design. So what pandemic taught us is that the blended online courses these are props, these are materials that help us supplement that give easier approaches to materials in our classroom courses. But to design a real online course, we have to change our mindset. So it's going to be blended. Okay, then you design course in one way. Are you going to use flipped classroom, full online course, things like that? What we as teachers are not aware of is the workload that we put on students. So I think that the best thing that we can do is ask a colleague to be a student on our online course and to raise awareness of students' perspective. Finally, what I mentioned as problem with Moodle in general, and I'm going to mention that each and every time that I talk about this topic, is we need guide for teaching methods online, regardless of the technology that we are using. You can use Teams or you can use some applications. I don't know, when the pandemic started, a lot of lists with Wakelet, Genially, and other applications were shared among the teachers. But with that link, you can click it and you can see, okay, but you have to invest a lot of time to see the possibilities of the application. We need guidance about teaching methods and not about technology. Quick fixes that I've learned by teaching during the pandemic, the full online course that I didn't plan and design as a full online course, is that if you prepare everything in advance, the entire course, and students see the entire syllabus, all the presentations, so no fixing of a presentation night before they have online class. Everything that is prepared at the beginning of the term works beautifully. Be present online. Since we didn't know whether we will start the fall term, the winter term, whatever you call it, this October, online or on site, when I zoomed out and thought about my online teaching, I realized that I need to be more present online. When I said that to some online teaching experts, they said, no, 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 you shouldn't be online all the time. You should set clear boundaries and restrict your availability. I partly agree with them, but what I mean when I say full online, that means that there is no content preparation during the course. The only thing that the teacher with a normal workload can do is be online to send announcements and notifications and to provide a lot of feedback. Students online have difficulties in creating communities, although you wouldn't think of being online like that. You know, this is all community. We are all very close to each other. We are not. So you have to guide them on that one to create classroom rapport on one hand, but on the other hand, to provide feedback, and this is a lot of feedback, on every assignment that they do. But if we think about what I have just said from a wider perspective, doesn't contemporary approach to higher education teaching include all this? I would say yes. And finally, if I look back from 2009, this looks like an obituary, and it wasn't my intention. When I created my first Moodle course till this 2021, am I a better online teacher? I would say that I'm a more experienced online teacher. I would think of myself as a better teacher in general with this experience, but am I a better online teacher? It's yet to be seen. However, my progress in 2020 and 2021 compared to the years before when I was just clicking, exploring activities, looking for what's different in Moodle 3 compared to Moodle 2, and things like that, my progress is definitely evident. And this was my insight, my reflection on my online teaching when I read this sentence, this quote by Benjamin Franklin, tell me, and I forget. These were my experiences with um, seminars on Moodle. We have an online teaching week at the beginning of each academic year and things like that. Teach me and I may remember. Some workshops that included me creating questions for exams in Moodle were this kind of experience, but involve me. And I had no other choice when the pandemic started, and I learned, and I have definitely learned. For any questions, comments, criticism, experience sharing, whatever, do not hesitate to contact me. As I said in the beginning, this talk will be somewhere in the beautiful internet, alive for many years later on someone's computer somewhere. I want to talk. I want to talk about rhetoric and online teaching and other topics that I have mentioned in this talk. Thank you very much.